Okay, good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Tanya Cure by Nature. First time we are making a video in English. The reason is we have a lot of viewers staying in overseas and they are requesting video in English. So, and this topic is very important. So I was wondering that we can do this in English, and if you explain everything, it might help a lot of people. So, sir, I wish to know, firstly, you have to introduce yourself. And
Yeah, definitely. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Sandeep Sharma from Urmalia Lifestyle Medicine, and we are keeping ourselves one step ahead so that because our India is a diverse country, and lot of people do not understand Hindi in the first place. So, in order to address that problem, we are trying to make the content in the English. First of all, second, this YouTube is international, and lot of patients are international patients, so that our this initiative can help them in the better way.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, today our question is about breast cancer. And as I think in overseas, breast cancer is very common issue. A lot of ladies are facing this problem. I think somehow they are not feeding their baby. That's why also they are having this issue. So I wish to know, sir, what is the connection between cholesterol and breast cancer?
So definitely breast cancer is one of the leading cause for the cancer issues in the females, and it's definitely occurs in the females. So it is the leading cause, and we must address this problem and how it is its connection with the cholesterol. That particular issue, that particular point of view we are talking about, how, how cholesterol is connected with the breast cancer. So whatever I am giving you the information is from the latest medical studies. So please consider this information with a grain of salt, because all the information has been taken from the research latest very high grade medical journals. So I was starting with this topic, that is cholesterol and breast cancer. So first of all, let me clear your doubt upon the cholesterol. So what is the cholesterol in the first place? So cholesterol is a very important molecule for the formation of the cell wall, and cholesterol help in the manufacturing of vitamin D. Cholesterol help in various process of hormones action and production of the hormone. So no doubt cholesterol is a very good important molecule. But right now in the current scenario, that particular goodness of the cholesterol has been converted to the as a bad molecule. Whatever we are facing problem, that has connected to the cholesterol molecule, like heart attack, heart blockage. These are has been connected with the cholesterol. So now we are here to discuss about how cholesterol is connected with the breast cancer. So what happened? The study was done in which the breast cancer tissue taken to the petri dish and in the test tube, and cholesterol was added in that solution, which in turn increased the production of cancerous cell of the breast. So in the petri dish, it has shown that when cholesterol is added to the solution, the speed, the growth of cancerous cell increases. So it indicates that cancerous cell feeds on cholesterol and increase their number very speedily. So no doubt cholesterol has some relation with the breast cancer. Now let us study in the actual situation. It has been seen that the ladies which have higher cholesterol level in the blood have higher chances of breast cancer. So now let us put our concentration more on how cholesterol act as a increase the chances of breast cancer. So cholesterol is not directly involved. There is one process called oxidized cholesterol or cholesterol oxidation product, in which the cholesterol react with the oxygen, react with the free radical inside our blood, inside our body, and get converted into the oxidized cholesterol. And that oxidized cholesterol create the carcinogenic effect on the cell, and it convert the breast cell into the carcinogenic cell. Once the oxidized cholesterol convert the cell into the carcinogenic breast cell, and you have higher cholesterol, that give the nutrition to the cholesterol, that to the cancerous breast cell, means dual effect, making the cancer and proliferating the cancer. So when the cancerous cell has been developed, it get blood circulation is deficient to the particular tissue because they are growing in the very high number. So what happens? One process occur inside that particular tissue that is called as angiogenesis. Means hungry tissue, hungry cancer tissue start another procedure that is called angiogenesis, in which they make a new blood connection from the main blood supply. So from the blood supply, they directly take the nutrition from the blood supply, that is called angiogenesis. And because of that angiogenesis, higher amount of nutrition from the blood reaches to the breast tissue, cancerous breast tissue, and they proliferate at the higher rate, which lead to the cancer of the breast. So now we will start connecting the things. You have higher cholesterol, you have higher oxidized cholesterol. Oxidized cholesterol converts cell into the cancerous cell. Cholesterol feed the cancerous cell, and cholesterol, this whole system start another process that is called angiogenesis. And because of angiogenesis, they get overnutrition, and because of overnutrition, they proliferate in the higher number, and it results into the breast cancer. So this is the overall connection of blood cholesterol and breast cancer.
So, sir, how can we prevent this issue? I mean, what kind of diet we should follow to prevent this scenario? I think I will appreciate if you can share some, the diets and all that.
Definitely. So we need to understand, we have already understand how the things are working. With that information only, we can understand how will be the treatment course to the particular situation. So I talked about oxidized cholesterol. So what we have to do is we have to design our diet and lifestyle so that oxidized cholesterol can be decreased to the lower level. So what we have to do is, first of all, we should not consume cholesterol from outside. Let our body decide how much cholesterol needed to be maintained in the blood. So body knows it. You are forcing your body with external cholesterol. So that has to be stopped. And that is consumption of chicken, egg, fried food, and fried butter, milk products, paneer, cottage cheese, mozzarella cheese, all cheese, that has to be stopped on the first place. That is the prevention of cholesterol and oxidized cholesterol. Second, what we have to do is we have to increase the antioxidant level in the blood, so that free radical or oxygen should free radical can be prevented in the first place. Because if free radical is not there, then oxidation of the cholesterol will also not occur. So what we have to do is we have to give high antioxidant foods like berries, which have very high antioxidant, vitamin C. And if we can provide vitamin C from lot of the citrus fruit like oranges, like mosambi, that is called sweet lime, and amla is a very good source of antioxidant, that is vitamin C. Berries, blueberries, blackberries, peaches. So all the colored food are very good source of antioxidant. Second, green leaves, what they will do is they help in the correction of endothelial damage. The endothelial damage that has been occur, that will be corrected by green leaves, which has nitrous oxide, that will be also rectified. Second, the angiogenesis, if you are on the high amount of antioxidant and vitamin C and all good nutrients and phytochemicals, the angiogenesis can be prevented. So what we have to do is we have to prevent the angiogenesis, which causes the cancer to grow. If we can prevent the angiogenesis, then cancer will be cured. So these are the first. Second, one of the most important vegetable which people are not know about, that is cruciferous vegetable.
I want to ask you one question that, okay, since I'm staying overseas and there are a lot of markets around me, and is it okay if I buy berry juices from the market and I drink it? So will it give me the enough nutrition?
One of the very important questions that you are asking about. First of all, we have to understand that antioxidant in the packed juice is 1/100th of the original fruit. So in order to get the same amount of antioxidant, you have to drink 100 packets of that particular juice. Second, on that juice, it also have added sugars, so that can blunt the effect of antioxidant. So ultimately, very negligible profit is there on the basis of antioxidant, and on above that you are getting the sugar, so that will be even damage whatever the antioxidant you already have in the blood. So ultimately overall mathematics will be negative. So I recommend not to drink that. At least you can, if you have that much of honey, if you can get at least 10 gram 20 gram, that will be far better than the bottle of that packed juice.
Okay, so you are saying that we have to consume either original form or like in a raw form, just buy fruit
Exactly.
from the shop and then have it as it is wholesome. Okay.
Even yeah, even it will be cheap also most of the time.
Yeah.
It will be cheaper than the packed food.
Yeah, sir, one more question I want to ask you, because since we are doing this video for overseas people, and as you know, we are staying in overseas, non-veg is our first priority. Okay, I'm not talking about myself, but I'm just representing myself as my viewers, overseas viewers, that I love to eat non-vegetarian, and this is my staple food. I am having it every day. So anything you can add in for me, so I don't have to skip my favorite foods, and at the same time I'm getting the benefits from the good things.
Exactly. You are questioning, you are asking a very important question. Now there is a, now I have to negotiate with the patient. Definitely non-vegetarian is a bad thing, but now if patient don't want to leave at any cost, now I
Yeah.
have to negotiate.
Hmm.
So what I have to do is ask the patient, if you're taking the chicken, why not just, why are you grilling the chicken? Just boil the chicken. You can go for the soup. That will be 100 times, 10 times better than the grilled one. Why you're frying the chicken?
Hmm.
Why don't you go for some raw type or just boiled type? Second, if you're taking the chicken and non-vegetarian on continuous basis, why not you switch to the alternate day, so that you can more enjoy that particular product? Because if you're taking in a daily basis, you will not enjoy that thing more. If you take once in a while or very less frequently, then you will enjoy more. First of all, when you start decreasing the amount, your body will get habitual to that particular lower amount. So when you start working on such thing, you in the first place you will not find very comfortable, but as the time goes you will feel very comfortable. You will be satisfied with even the less amount of the non-vegetarian food. Second, if you are having the 300 grams of the non-vegetarian, you better choose the 200 gram. Must, what the best we can do, we have to do it in
Okay.
order to reduce the thing. This is for the
Okay.
non-vegetarian. And okay, fine.
Okay, sir. I have one more question, since I'm staying in Asia, and I believe even in Europe also people love to eat noodles, and they eat
Exactly.
rice also. But what I know that people say rice is bad than noodles. Noodles is better than rice. So from your point of view, which is best? Should we take rice or should we take noodles instead?
Exactly. If you're talking about the noodles are of two types. One is made from the rice noodles and other is made from maida.
Plain flour,
If
yeah.
noodle is wheat flour, if it is made from the wheat flour, then the damaging effect of maida is very higher than the rice. Rice is 100 times far better than the maida, and anything made from the maida will automatically will be dangerous than rice. So you can talk about the noodles, you can talk about anything that is made from the maida, even pizza, even whatever made from that flour, that is called common flour,
Yeah,
that will
plain
be
flour. In
always
Singapore,
bad.
we call it
Wheat
plain
flour,
flour. Yeah.
plain flour, that will always be bad than rice. Rice is far better than that refined wheat, that is maida.
Okay. Because I asked this question because a lot of my colleagues, they always say, oh, we don't want to eat rice because we will put on weight. And instead they switch to noodles, but which I find that it's also not healthy.
Definitely, even worse than rice.
Okay, so I hope if any of our viewers are from Asia or from Europe and they love to eat noodles, they know what to do now and they know how to reverse their problems. If you are so I have one more question I want to ask you. If we have any like, let's say you are talking about the cancer, but I want to know the symptoms. What kind of symptoms we will get to know that, okay, we are going to have this cancer in our breast or any part of our body, so at least we can start reversing it.
Exactly, very important. One of the most important information I like to share is just love yourself. Examine yourself. when you're taking bath, once in a while, just examine yourself. Is there is something unusual you are feeling on your body part? If you're best, so just examine yourself. If you think something is different, just go to the concerned physician and get confirmed it is really abnormal thing or a normal thing. So one of the most important thing is examining yourself. You have to examine yourself. Is there is something unusual? Is this something very not was there before 10 days back? Second, third, are you losing weight at the higher rate? Are you feeling very lethargic? So these are the symptoms or the question if you are getting in your mind. So why not just visit a physician and get the things get confirmed. Second, one more thing I was forget to tell you about. In the cruciferous vegetable, we have very important molecule that is called sulforaphane. That is highly concentrated in the cruciferous vegetable. If you are taking the cruciferous vegetable, then this particular molecule called sulforaphane get into the your blood circulation and prevent the cancer in the first place. So if you are taking the vegetable and if you are having higher chance of if you are already having a higher cholesterol, I will recommend increase cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, like broccoli, Brussels sprouts. These are the some kind of vegetable on the cruciferous category that can give you a boost in the sulforaphane.
Sir, I have read also, and our Ayurveda also suggests that turmeric is one of the anti-cancerous spice. So
exactly.
How much is going to help us if we, and what are the quantity we should take?
Exactly. If we are talking about the turmeric, it has one alkaloid that is called curcumin. When the curcumin get into your blood, it definitely it improve the function of endothelial function. When it prevent the endothelial function is improved, then overall prevention of the cancer of each and every body part will get decreased. But if you are taking curcumin or haldi, what we have to do is we have to boost the absorption of that particular curcumin, because 99% absorption of the curcumin is not available. If you're taking 100 grams, then only 1 gram will get absorbed, 99% will be will go down to our stomach. So one more very important information I like to share you. What you have to do is just add black pepper with curcumin, increase the absorption by 20 times, that is 20,000% higher increase. So when you mix curcumin with black pepper, it will enhance the availability of the curcumin in your blood. So it is one of the very important Indian spice, that is curcumin plus black pepper. And you will love to hear that we are already having all these things in our garam masala.
Yeah, but in Western countries, sir, it's not really available in every, like those.
Not available.
Yeah,
exactly. So what you have to do is it's a resin for you. You buy the curcumin, you buy the black pepper, mix it, use in your food, and boom, you got it.
Okay, here I have one question also, because there are many foods which we do not use, your haldi or turmeric we used to call. So usually these people, they like to go buy all this as a supplement. So we buy from the shop as a supplement. So exactly. How much is it effective? I mean, if we take this as a supplement, how much is going to be effect on our body?
That's very important question. The person who are taking the curcumin in the tablet form, they are designed to get absorbed in a very high quantity, and particular curcumin has been extracted on that particular capsule. So let me make you one understand. Only curcumin is not there. There is many things are available in the haldi, original haldi, raw haldi. From that haldi they have extracted the curcumin, and that extracted curcumin is itself is carcinogenic. Very strange thing. Curcumin with whole haldi is anti-cancerous, but if you extract the curcumin and put into the patient, it will be carcinogenic. It will cause cancer. So definitely never go for capsule based extracted curcumin.
Okay, one more question, sir. It's just my curiosity. I just want to know. Okay, let's say, for example, I buy haldi powder from the shop, and I am not comfortable to consume it like that because I'm not used to have this in my meal. It's not my regular, it's not a part of my regular meal. Okay. So can I buy a capsule from market and then I just insert this, haldi powder inside and some black pepper inside, and then I close it and I can have it in my daily basis. Can I do that?
Okay, definitely. If this is the only way you can consume the curcumin, I will say go for it. If you can consume in the capsule from made by yourself, still that will be good. Either you can do one more thing, you can put 1 spoon of haldi, turmeric, in the lukewarm water, and you can take that also. So both options are available. Better will be the lukewarm water, less effective will be the capsule form, but definitely it will help out. And you will imagine in the research they use this method only. They put curcumin powder in the capsule and they give to the patient, and they do research with this method only.
So if we, let's say, taking with a capsule or in a lukewarm water, we have to add black pepper also. It has to be together for the better absorption.
Exactly, definitely.
Okay. Meaning, sir, that we have to eat broccoli in a daily basis, and
broccoli,
a lot of
cauliflower,
cauliflower.
Yes. Whatever the fruits you see have intense color. This is the diagnosis. You go to your produce section in the market and look at the vegetable. If you think it has very intense color, very green, very black, very red, this is the signal that you need to
take. So the more pigmented food is much more good for antioxidant. I mean, it has more antioxidant inside.
Yeah, that's the reason. If you go to the produce section of the supermarket and you find white onion, red onion, where you will go?
Red onion.
Red onion.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
and then you got cabbage, red cabbage, white cabbage, a little green cabbage. What will be your choice? Purple cabbage, which is pigmented cabbage.
Yeah.
So we have to decide on the spot which will be far better. That will be your purchase decision and your decision how to best out of the situation what you can do.
Okay, so even this thing goes to the leaves also. So those leaves are in darker color. They are much more antioxidant.
Exactly. This is the test, you can say, this is called test from your eyes.
Okay.
If you think light green color, dark green color, and very dark leafy green, go to the very dark leafy green.
Okay, sir, one more question I want to ask you. I have read somewhere that spinach we cannot consume just as it is. We have to cook it in some way with like oil or something. Then only the absorption will be much more better. How much is
exactly? It is a very important topic. I thought it will be make another video. Let me give you some more light on that. What we have to do, there is one word that is a blanching. What is blanching? Just boil the spinach for the little. No use of oil, nothing. Just boil so that spinach, the cellular structure of the spinach can burst out. When it will burst out, it will release all the content in that particular water. And when it is released in the water, it will be very high in the availability for the absorption. What we have to do is just boil the spinach in the little flame, in the little heat, so that the cellular structure bursts itself and release the quantity in the water. But there is one more negative thing here. It will damage some of the vitamins which are heat sensitive, but it will make the availability of other things in a very high quantity, like chlorophyll, phytochemicals, minerals. So there is we have to balance the things. Little heat can increase the availability of the nutrients up to 10 times. So what you have to do is don't throw that particular water in which that particular vegetable has been boiled. Take that water and that particular leaf together so that you can get the benefit of both of it.
Okay, so we can just drink, we can just have some black pepper, some salt inside, and we can just drink it.
Yes,
or for Indian families, we can, we can knead the attas and all that. Yeah. That's a good thing. Yeah, we can even make sabji and all that. Yeah.
Now we can make a good recipe. Just blanch the spinach, add some broccoli or cauliflower in that, add some healthy and black pepper, and boom, you got all the benefit in one dinner.
Actually that was my favorite soup. I used to have it a lot in my regular basis. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, sir. I hope this information will help a lot of ladies and a lot of people, not only ladies, because oxidized cholesterol is a very dangerous thing and it can cause cancer at any part of the body. So we just have to concern and we have to take a lot of antioxidants in our food. So at least we can stay healthy and, we don't have to worry about cancer. So
Exactly.
thank you so much, sir, for this valuable information. I will see you again. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for being with us. We will come again with another hot burning topic to make your life far better.